Hey guys, Sebastian here from Beige Vintage. Welcome to our gallery. In today's video, we'll be talking about one of the best amplifiers that we normally recommend to professional guitar players. You know, we're talking about an amp that is going to be the daily driver for the player that needs something compact that they can take to a local gig, to a recording session, or to home for practice and whatever scenario you need. And that would be the Turok Studio Signature 35. Turok is really well known for offering big amps that sound massive. You have heard them on records like Continuum by John Mayer, and they have been used by players such as, John Mayer, Eric Johnson, Bonamassa, even more modern players like Ariel Poulsen and Joey Landreth, and for good reason. They sound amazing, and they have a reputation for being a great boutique company that manufactures their amps by hand here in the US. The one here, the Studio Signature, is a 35-watt combo. And what they have done with this is, again, they have captured that huge sound of its bigger counterparts, and they have put it in a box that, it's as big as a carry-on. As a gigging guitarist, you want something that it's light, it's portable, something that you can just toss in the trunk of your car, take it with ease to the gig, and this amp does it really well. I feel like it doesn't get much better as far as like form factor. One of the big problems that I personally have with smaller amps is that a lot of times they tend to sound boxy and they just don't have the low-end response of a bigger cabinet. And the way Turok have engineered this combo, it just somehow sounds a lot bigger than it actually is. And I think that a lot of that has to do with the design of the cabinet, how efficient the speaker is, and basically the way Turoks work, which have like this massive sound with a lot of bass, a lot of mids, and a lot of high ends, and they just sound huge. And it sounds incredible. I would describe the tone as a mix between a Dumble and a Fender. It's a sound that is very chimey and big with lots of low end, lots of highs. It somehow just gives you the things that you love most about a Fender amplifier, and on top of that, just more. On board, you have many options that really allow you to tweak the sound, starting off with a 3-band EQ, classic treble, middle, and bass, as well as a reverb mix control and a drell on the back, which controls how much reverb you have in the signal and for how long or how intense that reverb is. Then you have a master and a presence. Furthermore, you have a bright, mid, and deep switch. These are filters that either cut or add those frequencies back into your sound. I find this very useful if you're running, humbuckers and single coils on the same set or whatever, and then you want to, kind of like have a quick switch that is going to give you back those frequencies that one guitar might be lacking, or take away those frequencies. And in the back, one of my favorite things is that you have this toggle that allows you to switch between 3 different preamp voicings, right? So the one on top would be the Turok, which is the one that we're using right now. So it's a classic Turok voicing. You're gonna hear how it's a really nice, big, open, crispy sounding settings that has this bit of compression that feels really good under your hands. Then the one in the middle is the Matt Schofield sound, which has a bit less low end, a bit more gain if anything. And this by no means is a gain crunchy amplifier. For the most part, it has a lot of headroom at 35 watts. It stays really clean, but you can definitely get a bit of dirt out of it if you start to dime the gain control. And in that middle position of the preamp section in the back, you can really get it to breathe a bit of fire. And then in the bottom position, it is voiced after a blackface Fender. And like I said, this amp, it's already inspired after a Fender amp, but when you turn it down, you can really hear that difference in character, how the sound thins out a little bit more, you lose some of that mid, and it's a sound that we're all familiar with. Also, Turok offers a wide variety of different aesthetic finishes, as you can see right here. This one comes with this beautiful green suede, as well as this really nice gray grill cloth. You can also order the plate color to be different, the jewel color, and many other different options. So for the purpose of this demo, we'll be running this amp pretty clean. And then to get a bit of drive, we'll be using this Bonfire by Ruvane, which is just a boost pedal that has a bit of gain. It's super transparent, and it works really well with this combination. As far as guitars, we'll be using this 1959 Reissue Gibson Custom Shop Murphy Lab ES355, which is just killer. So let's check it out. So immediately I'm hearing a sound that is very full, has tons of low end, and if I wasn't looking behind me, I would expect to see a massive amplifier with a big cabinet behind me. Yet it's a 112 combo that is producing all of that big sound. So that's one of the things that I feel like is the best things about this amplifier, how big it sounds for its size. Now let's check it out with a bit of drive. I mean, this pedal sounds amazing too, and I like how it respects like the tone of the amp. It feels like if the amp had a secondary channel in a way, it still preserves a lot of the low end, you know, like the main character of the sound, and is really nice. It complements really well. Again, the amp responds awesome to the pedal too. You know, it's very responsive, and that's something that I feel like most Durocs have in common. How they're very unforgiving when it comes to the playing. You know, they really show everything. The sound is like so clear and clean that they don't hide any of your mistakes, unlike all the brands that have so much compression that it's so easy to hide behind them. So if you want an amp that is also going to challenge you as a player, this is a great option. Now, for the sake of this demo, let's move on to single coil so you guys can hear a better comparison. So yeah, as you can hear, I mean, obviously it sounds very different because these are single coils versus humbuckers, but the amp still has that same character. The only thing I did is just added a little bit more gain so you guys could hear a more fair comparison between the two. But yeah, I feel like for some reason Durocs just work really well with any guitars, but with single coils and in particular Strat, there's some magic there that just works really well. Maybe it's a sound that we all have heard so many times before that it's ingrained in our heads. But yeah, it's a magical combination. You know, I love these two right here. They sound amazing. And by the way, this is a custom shop Stratocaster, super heavy Relic here in Lake Placid Blue that is just incredible. Now we have moved it over to the Matt Schofield sound, which is the middle position of the gain stage character switch located in the back of the amp. Let's hear how that sounds with a bit of drive from the pedal. So, I mean, you can hear the immediate change in the response. A bit less low end, it sounds tighter. You have more mids, more saturation. I feel like it works well, again, if you want to run the amp a little bit hotter. And the boost is just adding, again, just a bit of hair to make it sound more beefy and distorted. And with this Strat, it works fantastic. So yeah, guys, I mean, there's not much else to say about this amplifier other than it is killer, and I think a lot of you are gonna enjoy it. It is worth all the hype that you hear online. Two Rocks are amazing amps, and yeah, I think you guys are gonna find it very, very appealing. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to find out more about us, the links are down below in the description. Head over to walkersvintage.com to see all the amazing things that we have in our galleries. I'm talking about guitars, cars, coffee, and now even watches. So definitely don't miss out on that. If you want to support the channel, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and follow us on Instagram at @walkersvintage if you enjoy this type of content. My name is Sebastian. Until next time.